What is your name and where are you from?
My name is Maurice Chan. I'm originally from Hong Kong, but I've been in North America for the last maybe almost 40 years. So I still go back to China very often,
Ah,
sometimes a few times a year. So I am very fluent in both the languages and the culture of the
you
two
are.
very different countries.
You
Yeah.
are. You are. How did
Mhm.
you originally hear about my lessons?
It was actually on your YouTube free
Mhm.
first part
Right.
that it was the time that when I was thinking about learning to play piano because I have that time when I was sitting there watching my daughter taking lessons.
Hmm.
So I started to take a few basic lessons and YouTube is so popular. So I would look up to see how other people or grown up learn how to play piano. So then I saw your your video and I would feel,
Hmm.
oh, that's very ingenious because I had problem, learning how to read music
Yeah.
at our age at that time. I was around 55, 56. So uh, it wasn't fun to go through the traditional learning
No,
of
it's not
piano.
for a lot of people.
Yeah. And yours is almost like a shortcut that you, with very basic piano knowledge, that you know the C chord, the G chord, and
Sure.
the middle C, and your sheet music already like, or plus your video would make
Yes.
you feel like $1 million piano player.
Yes. Thank you. What did you like most about learning from my method?
I think your whole library has a very good combination
Hmm.
of popular songs, classical hits, and I think lately you start to take requests also,
Sure.
so that you have a lot of songs in your
Hmm.
library. I think what I like the most is that you are trying to stay very much with the original.
Yes.
Like the piece that you did with Carol
Yes.
King's You've Got a Friend, it,
Hmm.
it was actually very close to the original.
Thank you.
And then you make it into a solo version
Sure.
that a lot of time I can see that actually without the right hand playing all the solo,
Hmm.
it would become an accompaniment.
Sure.
So I think the flexibility of all the musics that you have done really got your user get the most utility out of it.
Thank you. Maurice, you're saying all the things that I need you to say, but I didn't tell you to say them. You're the perfect candidate for this. What makes my method different from other online piano lessons?
I think the lessons that you are making are more personal and very consistent. A lot of the online lessons are like hit and miss.
Hmm.
That, oh, you, for example, you look at the song that I talked to you about, like Somewhere in Time. I can see there are so many video teaching on YouTube out there.
Hmm.
They all have different methods. Some have just like very boring with the graphic of a piano,
Sure.
coming down and then
Yeah.
and I think yours come out to be the best because you have you have your own self there with your hands there with your face there,
Hmm.
and you walk us through from one part to the next part. So
Thank you,
I
Maurice.
think that's the difference and the edge that you have.
Thank you. Appreciate that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with my lessons?
Oh, definitely a 10. As I said, that's why I was probably one of your earlier
Yeah.
lifetime members
Yes.
because I think that's the best decision. It would worth so much. I don't even remember, maybe about like $500 at that time for the life member or four
Sure. At that
ninety
time.
five.
Right.
I think I get way more benefit than what I have committed
That's great.
and I'm still having that lifetime membership, so I'm still going to reap benefit away from that.
Sure. And it is, and one day maybe your daughter will want to try it again. Sometimes that happens. The kids will get away from music and then they'll come back and say, let me try this other way. I see that over and over again. There's a member I have right now who is teaching his 10-year-old son. He started with my website, and that's all the kid knows. His dad, learns from my website, and then he helps his kid learn from the same songs. And his kid goes out and plays gigs. He's 10 years old. He sings, he plays. He's got about 30 songs he can sing and play. He's incredible. But
Yep.
so there's still hope for our kids to come back
Yeah,
to it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Would you recommend a family member or friend to my website? And if so, why?
I would definitely do that. As I said, I personally had benefited from it a lot. And you just mentioned this is a great alternative.
Mhm.
It's definitely the best for a grown up to start learning piano if they ever want to play piano. There is very, very small portion of the grown ups who want to learn to play piano and play a Chopin Mozart classic.
Mhm.
They want to play a popular song.
Sure.
And that's exactly where you're offering. And you
Yes.
still have a few, like four seasons if you want to play, from your library. But most of the songs that in your library is going to be cover most of the population who want to learn piano as an adult.
Sure. And I'm glad that you keep mentioning starting it as an adult, because you really can. It's I always compare it to golf. Golf, you can play golf at a really, really high level if you want to, but you don't have to. And you can start at any age, and pretty much anybody can go out and have a good time and be a moderate player. That's kind of how I see music. And that you did it as an adult is great, and everyone else can see that you did do it. So you're an example. I can tell people, yes, you can start when you're an adult, but until they hear someone like you saying it, they don't really believe it. So you've been a great testimonial for me, Maurice. Thank you so much. All of the boxes that I need to get checked, you've been doing it, and I didn't tell you what to say. You were saying it already, and I'm incredibly grateful to you. Thank you so much for doing it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, Maurice, we're going to send you one more thing, if you wouldn't mind. My son's going to send you a Google link, and it's to just take a minute to write a Google review for me. That's going to help my SEO in search engines, and that will probably help me more than a testimonial. But if you wouldn't mind filling that out. And also, is there a sheet that you wanted I can send you? I'd like to give you a gift today if I could. Is there a
Not
song you
off the
want to learn, a
top of
sheet I
my
can
head.
send you?
Not off the top of my head, but I will take it as a rain check. I'm
Yes.
happy to do the Google review for you when I receive the link.
Thank you. And the sheet is for the testimonial, not for the review, because I'm not allowed to give a gift for a review. So that's just, out of your generosity. But I just want to send you a sheet. Whenever you think of one that you want, let me know, and we'll send it along to you.
Understand. And good to see you, Shawn.
Thank you, Maurice. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Always happy.
What did you say there?
I said, always welcome.
Thank you, sir. All right, Maurice, if you could put your phone in landscape mode instead of portrait, because when we edit the video, it'll cut your head off when we're, if you could put it in, there we go. Wonderful. That's much better.
Okay.
Just set it somewhere maybe where you don't have to hold it.
I'm just trying to set it at the
Sure,
right
and
position.
take your time. No rush.
Okay.
Wonderful. That's perfect. Great. Well, thank you for doing this. I'm so happy to meet you. And I'm just wondering, how long have you been following my lessons?
Wow. Actually, it was how I started piano.
Oh, really?
Maybe,
you started with okay.
Maybe
So how long has that been?
7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Okay, so a while. That's fantastic. That's wonderful.
So,
I'm getting to meet. See, the reason I'm doing this, I'm finally working on the business side of my website, and I've never done that in almost 20 years. And part of the business plan for my business coaches is to get testimonial videos from everyone. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been
Mm-hmm.
really loving getting to meet all of you guys. And it's just an incredible thing for me. I'm really enjoying it. I thought it would be overwhelming, but I'm having a great time. And to hear that you started with my lessons, that's amazing. A lot of people took traditional piano lessons growing up, and it didn't work for them. Trying to read, traditional sheet music, and then they found my method, and that worked for them. But you say you started with my stuff. That's incredible.
So my story is like this. My instrument was guitar since
Okay.
a teenager.
Okay.
So there were so many songs that guitar couldn't even play out, with so piano is so much better with those songs.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't have the opportunity to touch any piano until my daughter was learning. And
Okay.
I was driving her to piano lesson, 2 times a week, sitting
Mm-hmm.
there waiting. And that's the time that I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I would just take a lesson here, there,
Okay.
and start to learn piano. And, those courses, I am 63, so I was in my mid 50s at that time. It's not
Okay.
easy to try to learn music again.
Yes.
Reading music and then,
Sure.
your coordination.
Sure.
So was pretty frustrated to start with. And
Okay.
then I saw your YouTube video
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to follow because we don't need to know how to read music on your lesson.
Sure.
And so I said, wow, that's interesting. So I actually follow a few of your lessons.
Okay.
And then I brought your lessons to my piano teacher
Oh, okay.
and said, why don't we do this instead of you trying to teach me to play the entertainer, like all
Right.
this first
Uh-huh.
grade piano thing.
Uh-huh.
And I also told him that it would be more interesting if you can do some popular songs
Yes.
instead of classical for grown
Mm-hmm.
up like us. So besides, I think I look at a couple of your music at that time
Mm-hmm.
that was like quite easy. And then
Good.
it was okay, like we can just learn as a novice. But I think the basic couple of piano lesson would help because at least you know where the middle C is.
Sure.
And then you can tell. But your lesson explained it very well. For example, you have a F, and if it is an octave higher, you
Mm-hmm.
would like write it higher.
Write it that way.
So
Yes.
I think it's a combination between some basic piano lesson in person plus what you are offering would be perfect for grown up like us. So we can actually start learning to play like All of Me,
Okay. I love that song. Yes.
and then like your song,
Your song, Elton
and
John.
basically, that. Yep,
Yes.
yep,
Good.
yep. Your
So
song
you
was
play
a little bit
those.
more demanding.
Wow. So Maurice,
Yeah.
what do you play? Like, what are your favorite songs that you've been working on for the past few years?
Well, I just play on and off and don't really play every day.
Uh-huh.
And then when I like hear a song that I would like, uh, but I don't have very good memory. And actually, I try to come up with some of the notes,
Okay.
and then the first thing I go is to your website to see if you have it
Okay.
already written. So,
Right.
like for
Nice. Evan,
so I
that's beautiful.
couldn't one
That's
hundred
great.
percent follow your notes, your sheets, because the left hand was quite demanding. I'm actually
Yes.
getting a little bit
Maurice, hold
hot.
on a second. I
Okay.
that was wonderful. First, I want to commend you for being so brave to play for everyone. Everyone is so scared to do that. I'm glad that you did that. We couldn't really hear that well because the Zoom app thinks that you're playing is ambient noise and it kind of blocks it out. So,
Okay.
if you are you on a laptop or you're on a phone, aren't you, or an iPad?
I'm on the phone.
Okay. Is there anything we can do, Evan, to?
So see if you can, on phone settings, if you have the option to go to audio settings, change the ambient sound.
Okay, well that's going to be hard. I was going to have you. There's a way to change the phone settings to allow the music to be music on here because it's kind of blocking it out. But I heard enough to be able to tell you were playing something. What was that?
It was the music was from that somewhere in time or something
Oh
like that. That movie.
yes. Oh,
Dun
that's a
dun
wonderful
dun
movie.
dun
Yes.
dun dun dun
Or not.
dun dun.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Yes, that I remember that movie. Have you seen that movie?
yeah, I seen it and I was like very touched by that.
Me too.
And this is one of the most beautiful piece of like movie music that you have, and it's not difficult. I don't know
No.
whether you remember in your lesson, you actually mentioned that the left hand is quite demanding, which
Yeah.
is if you want to practice your left
Yeah.
hand, this is a good good song to start with.
That was
Uh,
beautiful. I'm
so
glad you
I
did that.
actually went
You're brave
further.
to do that. No one else will play, but you just did it on, you just volunteered. I'm so happy you did that. That's a beautiful song.
I
And I
am
do love that movie.
I
It's
am one of
Christopher Reeve.
the
Yeah.
yeah, I'm one of the kind like the person that like because I used to play guitar and play and
Uh-huh.
sing.
Oh, you
So a
sing
lot
too.
of
Wow.
yeah, like my daughter, she actually got something from me that she can play and sing at the same time.
Oh, that's great.
A lot of people can play,
Yeah.
but when you want to sing and play at the same time, it's difficult.
It is. It is at first. And I'm glad that you do that. I have a lot of members.
Connected, maybe my Wi-Fi.
Sometimes that happens. That's okay. Thanks for sticking with me here. I love that you sing and play, and you're right. A lot of people have trouble connecting those two. But a lot of people don't sing, Maurice, not because so much that that's hard, but because they're so self-conscious of their voice. They're afraid. They think they don't sound good, so they won't even try. But I found that most people, they're okay singers. They're maybe not Whitney Houston or anything, but they have okay voices. And I'm glad that you're not afraid to play, not afraid to sing and play. And I know you played guitar first, and then you've switched to piano, and I guess you're still singing doing that. Is your daughter still playing or not?
That is one of the saddest thing
Okay.
because I see a lot of parents
Yeah.
are trying to get the kids to play piano
Hmm.
and go through the levels.
Sure.
Like in California, we have 10
Hmm.
level and then imperial
Yes.
level. And they actually end up hating piano after
Yes, you're
they
right.
went through all those exams. And I'm trying to help her to see
Yes.
why don't you play something that you like, like
Yes.
Taylor Swift.
Hmm.
But it's difficult. So if any parent that is listening to
Yeah.
this interview, I would really love to tell them, don't try to push them to just reach level 8 or what kind of level.
Yeah.
If they
Yeah.
can start playing and reading music,
Yes.
you should guide them to do what you want to play. You
Right.
want to play Elton John, you want to play Taylor Swift,
Sure.
which is fine.
Sure.
Because I think in the long run, I would rather see my daughter very confident and like a song that she would appear in a party at a house with a piano
Sure.
and suddenly, play and sing This Masquerade by George Benson or Carpenters. You see,
Yes.
that is very classy.
You are
And
correct,
that would
Maurice.
be actually a lot better investment than telling your friends that my daughter is level 10 or
Yeah.
something like that, and playing
Right.
a Mozart.
You are right, Maurice, because the piano lessons out there are they're all steeped in this classical tradition of classical music and sight reading music, and they do have the levels like you said. But I found that most people that's not the way they want to go. If you want to play Mozart and Beethoven and Chopin, okay, that's the route to go. But most kids, most people just want to play their fun, popular songs, like you mentioned Taylor Swift. And you're exactly correct on that. And so I noticed that when I was teaching, because I taught for 20 years, I had 50 students a week, and I used those graded systems because that's what you have. If you want to teach piano lessons and you go out and buy the books, that's what they are. The graded, no matter what publisher you use, they're all graded 1 through whatever. And I decided, because no one liked it and everyone was quitting, and I felt like I was a good teacher, and I thought, what can I do for these kids? What can I do to help them? So that's when I invented this system, and it just immediately worked for everyone. And I would say, what do you want to play? And they were shocked because no one had ever asked them what they wanted to play. They were just forced to play, Mozart or Fur Elise or something, and so I said, all right, well, let's learn it. So I'd pull it up on the computer, and right there I would write out the letters for them and write out the notes, and then we'd start learning the songs they wanted to do, and they started practicing. Kids started singing, and I had concerts, and all my students would go up and just play and sing the stuff they had learned. But it was music that they wanted to play presented in a way that was easy for them to read the music. So that's where that all came from. Yeah.
So let me tell you one more thing.
Okay.
I actually bring your method to my piano teacher at the time and ask him to do something like that for some Chinese popular songs.
Okay.
That never have sheets written up like the way that you did.
Okay.
And, and he did. He spent some time listening to what the songs are. Yes. And he wrote me some sheet music like yours, with exactly the note.
Yes.
And the Chinese song, most popular Chinese song. So
that's wonderful.
So that's why
most teachers, I thought I was gonna be able to guess what happened, because most teachers, if you bring them my things, they look at it and they go, "Oh, burn it! You're cheating. You're not. This is not the way to learn. This is trash." And that's the response most people have, not knowing that, I did do the classical route. I was training to be in the Van Cliburn International Piano Competition. I went all the way in classical music. And I can, play anything you put in front of me, and I can read notes. But this was for people who didn't want to do that.
or they couldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I have all the intention to try how to read music. I even look at your boot camp, and I said it is too involved, for grown up, maybe for kids, but even for kids, I mean, you just have to push them so that they got pissed off at piano, or you want them to like piano.
Right. You want them to like it.
Yeah. So I would say that's why I got into your life membership.
Oh, good.
As soon as I see it, it's useful, which worked out very, very well. Yeah.
Glad you did that. Well, Maurice, I'm going to ask you some questions now. This has been great. I have to ask you, you're older than I am. I'm only 51, but you look like you're in such good shape. Or what do you do to stay in shape?
Well, just be active,
Yeah, right.
Be active, be healthy. And, I was a track and field runner and a soccer player through high school. So I still keep trying to do something, not soccer now, unless I want to kill myself. Go to the gym. And I think, there's nothing else about like I drink, almost every day.
Okay.
I'm an occasional smoker, and I never quit since I was 18, but don't overdo it. Yeah, those are bad.
Active.
But,
so I can stay active. My difficulty is the eating. So what, do you have a particular way you eat? Or are you just one of those lucky people that keeps the weight off and eat whatever you want, or do
No,
you have a
no,
particular?
my weight has always been increasing, but you just have to set a limit. Oh, my mind, I'm 160. Then I got to stop.
Okay.
And you can fit into your 31-inch, 32-inch jeans. That means you got to stop. And then eat less.
Yeah.
Or one of my friend, he is a pharmacist, and he's been keeping himself in very good shape. He told me once, if you feel you are full, you're already overeaten.
Mm,
The art of eating is not to feel hungry,
to feel it. Okay.
not until you're full. So
Okay. Well,
I
that's
hope
what
that
I've got to
helps.
change that. Yes, because I've always eaten until I'm full. I don't have any trouble being
Uh,
active. That's fun. I like doing that, but I do eat till I'm full. So that I'm gonna take that to heart. Eat until I'm not hungry. So I'll have to slow down
yeah.
because I eat fast.
No, also, sometimes when you see there's food left over, then you
Hmm.
don't want to waste the food. But think
Yes.
about that. Waste the food is better than wasting your health.
Wonderful. Wasting the food is better
Did
than
you get
wasting your
that?
health. I'm gonna write that
Well,
down in my
it's not
journal.
that you intentionally
Yeah.
want to waste the food. But
Yes.
then when you think about you finish it, it's going to spoil everything that you eaten before that.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you eat up to a certain point, 80%, you feel good about that meal. But
Uh-huh.
then you end up, you want to finish it and go over 100%. That
Yes.
means, oh, when people ask, how was that dinner? It's like, oh, well.
It sounds
So
like, Maurice,
I think it's a good. Mm.
you have tremendous willpower. I can tell that, and that's wonderful. It just kind of comes to you naturally. So, but I'm going to take those things to heart that you said. Wonderful. So I'm going to ask you some questions here for the testimonial part, and this is
Mm-hmm.
for the videographers. They're going to edit it, and it might feel like you're repeating yourself a little bit, but if you don't mind just answering them again. But I always like
No
to get to
problem.
know everyone in this first part that we did because I want to know you. I don't want just to ask you these questions and leave. I want to get to know you a little bit. And it's been great getting to know you. All right, here we go.